This is a demonstration to help you learn how to journalize the trade-in of an asset. You will not have to be concerned with the income tax method, but you need to know the accounting method used to handle gains and losses from the trade-in of an asset. There's one important rule that you must remember. Always record a loss no matter what. However, gains on trade-ins are not recorded on the books. If you outright sell an asset without a trade-in and then you have a gain, then you may record it. However, if you have a gain on a trade, you never enter that gain on the books. So let's look at how we handle that. Take a look at example 16-7 on page 738 of your textbook. In that problem, it says that you are trading in an old delivery truck for a new delivery truck. The new truck lists at $29,900. That's the list price. They're going to give you a trade of $3,300, and that means that you're going to have to pay $26,600 for this new truck. Okay, so remember, we're trading in an old truck. The old delivery truck has a cost on the books of $23,300 and accumulated depreciation of $19,500. So when you're trading in an asset, the first thing you want to do is enter the list price of your new asset. Okay, the list price for the new delivery truck was $29,900. Okay, the second thing you want to do is to remove the old truck that you're trading in. So the old truck had a cost on the books of $23,300. So we want to credit that account to remove it from the books. It's sitting on the books as a debit, so we need to credit it to remove it. Now, not only do we need to remove the cost of the truck, we need to remove the accumulated depreciation. Okay, so the accumulated depreciation of the old truck was $19,500. So we have one more account to put on there, and that is the cash that we're having to pay, and we calculated that a little bit earlier. So we're going to have to pay $26,600. That's the list price minus the trade-in. So now it's time to step back and look and see if we've got a gain or loss. So if you look at the two debits, let's see, $29,900 and $19,500. If you add these two debits together, you get $49,400. If I come down and add my two credits together, I get $49,900. So the credits are $500 higher than the debits. So that means I need a $500 debit in order to make this journal entry balance. So that's telling me that I have a $500 loss on this trade-in. And remember the rule, you can always enter a loss. So all you do is just enter the loss right here, and we know it's a loss because it's on the debit side. If it were on the credit side, then it would be a gain. So now let's do the same problem and assume now that we're getting a bigger trade-in. So if we go back over here and assume that we're getting a $4,000 trade-in, that means we're giving up cash of $25,900. Okay. Alright, so we're going to go through the same process in the second entry, assuming that we have a gain. Now this is not in exercise 16.7. This is just the demonstration of how to handle a gain on a trade-in. So just like before, we're going to enter the list price of the new delivery truck. We may adjust this later, but for now we're going to go ahead and list it at its list price. Okay, and then we're going to remove the accumulated depreciation of the old truck, just like we did before. Remember, accumulated depreciation has a normal credit balance, so in order to remove it from the books, we have to debit the account. Okay, so we also need to credit the cost of the old truck, just like we did before. Okay, so far we haven't done anything different. We're going to enter our cash, and we decided our cash was $25,900. Okay, oops, got to get my old delivery cost in there. Okay, so now, just like we did before, we're going to add up the two sides. So the debit side, if we add these two up, come up to $49,400. If we add up the credit side, we come up with $49,200. Okay, so in this case, the debit side is larger than the credit side, so we would have to enter an additional $200 on this credit side, and if we did that, we would be entering a gain. If you remember the rule, though, about gains on a trade-in, you know that you cannot enter a gain on a trade. So what we will do instead is come up and reduce the list price of the new delivery truck by $200. So if we enter $29,700 as the cost instead of $29,900, we'll make our journal entry balance, and we have not entered a gain on the books.